Hi, my name is Ellie and welcome to my channel, College Prep with Ellie. Today's video is going to be talking about College 101 and giving you all of my tips and tricks that I wish I had had when I was applying to college. So, let's get right into it. The first thing that we're going to be talking about is a question that I want you to ask yourself. What do you want to do? So this can be a program or a major of study, and these are the two things that I really think are important for you to ask yourself before you determine what you're going to do for your college journey. Determining what program and major that you apply for and what you want to study really helps set the trajectory for your application process. So it's really important to think about that question. The second thing that we're going to talk about is another question that you need to ask yourself. What schools do you want to apply to? So once you ask yourself what kind of majors and programs that you want to study and you determine what kind of programs you're interested in, then you can start talking about the kind of schools that you want to apply to. And I would recommend just putting as many schools as you're interested in when you're brainstorming initially on just a list, and we'll talk about that later in the video. But making a just general list of these are the schools that you're interested in applying, and then it can change and it can grow as your college journey continues. But just making a generic list really helps you start to hone in and focus on the schools that you really want to apply to. And then the next thing that we're going to be talking about is the third step, which is ranking these colleges and determining what are your priorities. This is really important because when you're applying to college, it really helps you to see what things you value in a school and the things that you are valuing from your education. One really important thing that I would recommend is ranking these schools that you write down from least favorite to favorite. And then after you do that, determining why the schools over here on your least favorite spectrum and the schools over here on your most favorite spectrum. Determining what things are important to you, like location, maybe you want to stay close to home, or financial aid, maybe you're just basing your college decision on how much money you get from a school. This is really important because it helps you determine what you see as valuable in college and what you can apply to your college journey. Don't consider the prestige of universities or the things like that. What you need to determine is what school will be good for you, location-wise, financial aid-wise, program-wise, extracurricular-wise, internship-wise, everything. All of those outlooks are really important when you're considering a college because those can actually determine what your future is going to look like and what kind of resources that you are going to have that will help better your future. The next thing that we're going to talk about, the fourth thing, is now that you have determined what is important to you, what do you do? This is really important. Write down any and all information about the schools on a document. And something I really recommend that I'm going to put in the description is a spreadsheet that I made where I tracked all of my college information, whether that be supplemental links, whether that be the location of the colleges, what I liked, what I didn't like. All of those things are really, really important when you're applying to college, and it will help you so that you can look back on the things that you wrote down previously and help you determine, okay, this is my top school, this is not my top school, etc., etc. Having a document is really, really important because storing all of that information helps you save it for a later date and track all of the things that are really important and give you a head start to the application process. If you're interested in checking out that spreadsheet, just check in the description and make your own copy and you can get on your journey and continue. The fifth thing that we're going to talk about is what can you use to apply to college? If you're not familiar, there are a couple of ways to apply to college, but the main one is the Common App. Sometimes states have specific apps. The main app that is used for all college applications is Common App. Common App is a great resource, not just applying for college, but also for scholarships. And actually, if you are a sophomore right now, and you're a junior and you're senior right now, you can apply to scholarships through Common App because it links you directly to scholarships that apply to you specifically. I would highly recommend making a Common App account right now because this can help get you a step ahead of the game. And if you already get familiar with the kind of questions that Common App is asking, and you already get familiar with the kind of essay questions they ask, and the scholarships that they have, this can really help you set yourself apart, get prepared early, and get scholarship money. The sixth and final thing that we're going to be covering in today's video is, now that you've made your list of colleges, what do you do? The most important thing that I can say is be consistent and stick with your list. Now, your list can fluctuate and change. You might add a few colleges, remove a few colleges, and that's totally normal and okay. But one thing I really wouldn't recommend is adding a ton your senior year. It can make your application look not as prepared, it can stress you out, and I just wouldn't recommend adding a bunch of schools, like 10 schools, 15 schools, big numbers like that. I wouldn't recommend doing that. But if you have a few colleges that you maybe checked out the end of your junior year, or that you heard about your senior year, totally apply, because it doesn't hurt to try a few extra schools. But I would highly recommend just trying to stick with your list and be as consistent as possible, because if you do that, then your application quality overall will be a lot better for those specific schools that you applied to, versus you just applying to as many as you possibly can. And I did this, so that's why I wouldn't recommend it, because my application quality overall for some of these schools, my supplemental essays, those kind of things, weren't the quality and up to par as I think they could have been if I had narrowed down my list and made it more specific to the schools that I really, really wanted to go to. That concludes our College 101 prep video. And I might make multiple parts to this if you guys are interested in it, so just comment down below if you're interested in that. And yeah, I'm going to be having a lot of videos coming out soon about financial aid, how to apply for some scholarships, and all the kind of guides and tricks to doing that as well. I'm also going to be talking about financial aid in general when you're applying to college. And I'm going to be talking about personal essays and personal statements and the advice that I have about that. So if you guys have any other videos that you would like to know about or hear anything about, just comment it down below and I'll do a video about it. But yeah, I'm really excited to start this channel, and I just can't wait to give back advice. I'm a current high school senior right now, so a video like this I think would have helped me a lot during the college application process. And if I can get back to any of you guys, I will gladly do that, because this information is something that's super important to share with you guys. So, bye guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and check out my Instagram at College Prep with Ellie. Bye guys!